Hey everybody, Mr. B here and welcome to the Loft. Today we're going to do another addition to the pie series. I'm going to try a homemade key lime pie. It is probably one of my top, 5 desserts, top 3 pies at least. Definitely a top 3 in the pie. In any case, it's very refreshing. You've got that citrus. It's deceptively light because it is rich as F, okay? Rumor has it that this thing was started at some point in time down in Key West, Florida. And, if you know anything about that, leave me a comment down in the comments below. Recipes in the description, and without further ado, let's get started on key lime pie. Oven started with fan convection bake about 325. This will be to bake off the blind bake on the crust, and then we'll bake the pie at like 350. But in any case, we'll get it started that way. So let's move on. All right, so we're gonna start working on the filling for the key lime pie. We're gonna take 6 egg yolks, save the whites, makes a great omelet kind of thing in the morning, I like to try to bring them up to about room temperature. We've got a very humid day here in Atlanta, so they're kind of sweating. Anyway, let's see, the best way to kind of separate an egg, you can pass it through, to be honest with you, but I find the easiest way for me to do it is to just let it kind of roll through in between the fingers like that. This does not have to be precise. Okay, into a large mixing bowl, we will add our yolks. Boing, they're beautiful. I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes. This part, really, you do need to, 5 minutes. You need to whip these until they form ribbons. And that takes about, 5 to 6 minutes. All right, and we've gotten these to the ribbony stage here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's about where you want them to be. Now, We'll set this aside for just a minute. Let's start figuring out our lime situation here. So I'm gonna need about a half a cup of lime juice or so, right? So, we're just gonna, squish. We don't have to be precise on that. But more importantly, before we start squishing, I'm gonna want to get about a couple of tablespoons of zest. 1 tablespoon I will put into the filling, and the other I like to have for a little bit of garnish. So, you just take your lime, your microplane or a grater, and just get some of that skin going. You don't want to take it all the way down to the white stuff too terribly much. I forgot to talk about the damn limes in the intro. So I'm using regular limes, as you can see here by the grating that I'm doing. Traditionally, this is done with a key lime that's about the size of a golf ball, all right? Now, they're very fragrant and they're very limey, okay? Yes, that's the tradition, but because they're so small, you have to zest and zest and zest and zest. It takes a lot to get a lot of juice out of them. Not that that's that big of a deal, but just for the sake of my sanity, I'm going with regular limes versus key lime. Sue me if you should so choose. If you want to forego the title of being key lime and it just be lime pie, I really don't care. We're using regular limes versus key limes, but key limes are cool. All right, into our mixture goes 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk and our lime juice. And then we're gonna beat the shit out of this. Now that we've mixed that pretty thoroughly, I'm gonna take about half of my my lime zest here. I'm gonna sprinkle it in, and I'm gonna fold that in. And what I have found, I did a trial run of this yesterday, is that I tried to beat my lime zest into the mixture, and it basically all just kind of got stuck onto the mixing blades. So, we'll try this. I'm also thinking that if I don't incorporate it so extensively, like with the mixing, then probably gonna, hell yeah, have a little bit more zing. All right, let's pour it up. All right, so I'm gonna give this a couple of jiggles here. Throwing this in a 350 oven for about 12 to 15 minutes, just to let it set. Then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator, let it continue to set. Overnight is best. Okie doke, kids. So we've got this really great pie situation happening here. So I'm just gonna let it kind of cool a little bit. Then we're gonna need to refrigerate it. It's gonna need to come all the way down. So a couple of tips on this, right? Because y'all know my patience level is non-existent. If you wanted it for an evening barbecue or cookout or something like that, I would go ahead and knock this out first thing in the morning and let it sit in the fridge. If you need something for like a noon cookout or barbecue or early afternoon, I would do it the night before. What we're gonna do is, like, once it gets really, really cold, you take some homemade whipped cream or the squirt bottle, whatever the hell you want, Whipped cream is so easy to make. And then, you pipe it, make it pretty, put maybe a lime on it or something like that. I'll show you what all that looks like. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. So, yeah, see you then. is the first time I have ever gotten the first slice of a pie out without it being a complete and total catastrophe. But in any case, let's give this a taste. Yes, indeed. It's so refreshing. The wine, the fresh whipped cream, the graham cracker crust. I mean, what is it to love about this? You know, there's a couple of cheats you can do here. You could go ahead and buy a store-bought graham cracker crust. Nothing wrong with that. You can use canned whipped cream. But one thing you should never, ever, ever, under no circumstances do, is use the lime juice out of the bottle. I mean, come on, people. Who would do that? In any case, key lime pie. And remember, doesn't matter if it's hometown or midtown, we're going to cook it from the Loft. We'll see you next time. In any case, rumor has it this thing was started down in Key West once upon a time. If you know anything about that, leave a comment. I've heard somewhere along the way that New York somewhere has got claim to this, but you know, more power to you, darling.